Hello, I'm Chris Smith and I'm here to talk to you and to Theo Vidgen here about the Faber Media Music Academy, which is running from early next year. Before we go into the details of the course, we've got Theo along, who's actually taken part in two of the previous academies that we've run here, and we thought it would be a good idea to ask him what he thought about it and what he got out of it, so that we can encourage you, if you're interested, to follow in his footsteps. So I'd like to start. Thanks for coming along, Theo. We appreciate it very much. And so basically what we'd like to know is, before you sort of came into our lives of the Music Academy, what were you doing? Where did you study? What was your music background?
I studied music at Manchester University, but that was a pure music degree, so there was no real emphasis on film or television adverts. And then directly after that, I moved to Australia, where I got a job in a cafe and saved up to get my first bit of kit for doing this sort of thing. So,
which was?
The latest version of Sibelius and Finale, so my notation software, and my first sound library,
Okay.
so that I could just create the rudiments of a piece of music.
Right, okay. And so obviously you were interested in writing to picture from an early point.
I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Right, okay. And so obviously that's probably what drew you to the Media Music Academy in the first place. How did you find out about it, and what made you decide that this was something you wanted to do?
Well, I'd lived in Australia and I was just starting to get bits of work out there. As I said, I built up a little bit of kit. I had a little bit of experience doing some orchestrations and arranging. But I moved back to London and I had no contacts and I knew nobody, and I'd never properly studied media music. So I thought I should give it a go. I should meet other people that are about my stage in the career, and just be able to chat to them and to industry professionals.
Okay. So obviously you did that course. That was it last summer? Was it summer 2011?
2010?
2011, there we go, okay. And so how did you find it? What did you get out of it?
I think it was very important to be able to ask questions, to be able to meet people that have worked in the industry for years, and be able to ask them how they got started, where they went from getting their first few breaks, how did they turn that into a career. I think having a lot of coursework as well as feedback from people that have actually done this for years is really helpful.
Yeah. Because that course focused mainly on scoring music for film.
Yes.
And so what did you feel were the highlights of that course?
There was quite a few of them, I've got to say. It's been hard to pick out a few of them, my favourite ones, but I certainly liked the Q&A sessions.
Sure.
They were great. I mean, we had panels of the most distinguished people in each of their fields, and just being able to put up your hand and ask them whatever you felt. So we had Stephen Warbeck, Oscar in it. We had fantastic directors, music editors. We had creatives on the advertisements course. I mean, these incredible people that you could just ask questions and then hear other questions as well.
Yeah.
So hear what the guy next to you wants to know.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
And so, how do you feel it sort of added to what you learned in your music course? In what way was it different from just studying at university?
I think at university it's an all-round course, and it's the whole atmosphere of university is great, but it's not tailored towards building a career in film music or in media music. And the other thing about the Faber courses is that they're structured around the deadlines and trying to reflect something of the real world of this industry. So you won't have 3 months to do a piece of coursework. You know, you have a week in some of these courses, and you have to get something that's really good within a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the coursework was great, and the whole way it was structured is very different from a degree course.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you've obviously touched on this. So, in terms of what you felt, in terms of practical skills or practical benefits, what did you feel you got from this course?
I think the language was really important. Being able to know what a music editor is, being able to know what a spotting session is. These are really crucial things. If people drop these into conversation and you don't really know what they mean, it can be a bit embarrassing, or you don't feel like you've done your homework.
Sure.
But I think also, doing these courses, I wrote a lot of music. That wasn't my main reason for doing them, but I wrote a lot of music on these courses, And I've actually been given work on the basis of my show reels that have come from this course.
Yeah. So you did the first course on scoring for film.
Sure.
And then we ran the course earlier this year on the commercials course. And so, you've done the first one, and obviously, you have to save the money in order to get onto them, or find the money to get onto them. What made you feel that you wanted to do the second one as well?
Well, the second one was advertisements specifically. So we touched on that in the first course, but I've always known that I liked advertisements. I've always loved them. I've always been more interested in the advertisements than the programme that I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'll sit quietly for the 15 minutes, and then it's the advertisement that really gets me interested that is in the break.
Okay.
So I love advertisements. And the second reason was just I found the first course so useful that I knew that I wanted to at least give it a shot to see if it was as helpful as the first one.
And did it live up to your expectations? I have to ask that question. And so what have you been doing since that course ended?
So I've been doing a mixture of things that relate to both of those courses. So the first was I've recently written music for an advertisement campaign for Thompson. That's on television now, on ITV and Channel 4.
And that came through from somebody who
it came through a contact on the advertisement course. Obviously, you've still got a lot of great competition there, and you do need a lucky break, but you're introduced to these people and given the chance to get your music heard. So that's one great thing, and I've loved pitching on other adverts as well. And then I'm also working as the assistant to Howard Shaw on The Hobbit. That's great, that's just really mind-blowing to see how the industry works at that level.
And how did that come about?
I don't exactly know. I was recommended by a few people that I'd worked with,
right.
And I'm sure a lot of that came either directly or indirectly from being on the Faber course.
Okay.
So either from previous work that I got through meeting people on this course, or from making contact and just showing that I was somebody that could be approachable, or could be able to fit in. Yeah. I think if you're 21, you've just finished university, you might be really sort of full of energy and desperate to get involved in something, but that's not really what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody that's a bit more relaxed, got a little bit of experience. So I think these courses teach you how to behave, and this is what we were talking about a bit earlier, and I think that's really important, knowing how you should walk into a room
in a real world,
and knowing how you should sign off an email and all these other little bits and bobs. I think that's what gets you to the point where someone's going to go, yeah, we can give him a chance.
Well, listen, Theo, thank you very much, and thanks for coming in and talking to us, and hopefully that's explained a little bit from your perspective, and hopefully will have encouraged some other people to find out for themselves. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.